Good morning, and welcome to this University Day ceremony which commemorates the 218th anniversary of the tangible beginning of the University of North Carolina, the laying of the cornerstone of Old East on October 12, 1793. This was a major innovation for America and the beginning of public higher education in the United States, right here in Chapel Hill. This is a day to celebrate our past. The university began with William Davie and his fellow revolutionaries, including James Hogg, a Fayetteville merchant who moved to Hillsborough and persuaded the landowners of UNC-Chapel Hill to donate their property for the state university. The institution grew as other leaders stepped forward throughout North Carolina's history, adding to the original idea. We stand here today because all of them believed in the bold and challenging concept of public higher education and remain committed to it in good times and bad. One such leader was Edward Kidder Graham, who believed that the university should extend its reach throughout the state. Public service, President Graham said in 1914, is the radiating power of a new passion. And with that passion, Carolina faculty and students set about addressing the state's practical problems. We are still doing that today, only now the borders of the state extend around the world. To recognize the Carolina passion for service, the Faculty Council has established an award in Graham's name, and we will be announcing the first recipient of it later in the program. The School of Information and Library Science is celebrating its 80th anniversary this year, and we can thank another leader in public service for its creation. Lewis Round Wilson began training librarians in summer classes in 1904. It took him another 25 years to get a school established at Carolina. However, as the state opened hundreds of new public libraries to educate its citizens, there were plenty of librarians to staff them, thanks to Dr. Wilson's vision. Today, the school he started is the #1 library and information school in the country, and that's a passion for service in action. We are celebrating another anniversary this year, the 40th birthday of the University of North Carolina system. In 1971, after a spirited debate, the state legislature consolidated the governance of North Carolina's public universities under one board and one president. The new system represented campuses from Wilmington to Cullowhee, allowing each institution to pursue its unique mission with a more stable base of support. The people who debated the consolidation did agree that the best person to make their vision a reality was Bill Friday. His leadership as the system's first president made the idea work, and we all follow in his footsteps today. And I believe Mr. Friday is here, and let's all recognize him. Thank you, Mr. President. And so it is fitting that our speaker later today is President Tom Ross. As our state and nation plot the path forward, the importance of higher education in preparing the citizens of the future has never been more evident. Our students must invent, plan, and imagine a world that is more prosperous and equitable than the one that we have prepared for them. But we must devise the educational system that attracts them here. No institution can do it all alone, and Carolina is a proud part of the UNC system. Under Tom's leadership, we can achieve a heightened level of collaboration that is essential to meeting today's challenges. Legend has it that William Davie, James Hogg, and the other members of the site selection committee decided to pick Chapel Hill while lunching underneath the Davie poplar. There may or may not have been cider and beer involved. I'm sure there was, because there was no clean water. Whatever the truth is, we do know that the land around the Davie poplar quickly became the university's gathering place, and it is still a site for ceremonies and speeches. Later today, we will gather on McCorkle Place, just a little to the north of Davie's poplar, to unveil a new marker commemorating the student leaders who successfully fought the speaker ban law in the 1960s. The concept of free speech, so essential to our identity as a country and a university, has occasionally needed defending. We hope that this marker, by celebrating Student Body President Paul Dixon III and his fellow student leaders, will be an inspiration to future generations of Carolina students. Now it is my pleasure to recognize some important guests seated in the audience today. We are honored to have former Chancellors Paul Hardin and James Measer here today. Would you please stand? In today's program, we recognize those people who have won Distinguished Teaching and Service Awards this year. Would all the winners who are with us today please stand? I would also like to welcome the retired faculty of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill and ask them to stand. We are honored by your presence. I would like to recognize new faculty members who are here and ask them to stand. Welcome to Chapel Hill. Please welcome Brent Behringer, representing the Board of Governors, who will bring greetings.
Good morning to all of you, to President Ross, Chairman Hargrove, Chancellor Thorpe, distinguished alumni and alumnus award recipients, faculty, students, staff, and guests. It's a great honor and a personal privilege today to bring greetings to you on behalf of our University of North Carolina Board of Governors. In my 9th year of service on that board, and as a proud alumni of both the business and law schools here in Chapel Hill, it's particularly gratifying for me to participate in the celebration of the 218th anniversary of the beginning of this great university. The Board of Governors applauds and supports the importance of University Day and of all the historic and transformative contributions that this campus and its faculty and alumni have made and continue to make to our state and our nation. I was reminded of and really inspired by these contributions just last week when President Ross, in his inaugural address in Greensboro, very eloquently challenged all of us across North Carolina and our 17-campus university system to seize our times. As we reflect today on that message and the unfolding present and future of this wonderful campus in Chapel Hill, we should also recognize that our extended Carolina family has encountered some very difficult times over the past few months and years. The very good news is that, once again, our oldest flagship campus has endured and survived almost a perfect storm of a multi-year national economic recession, substantial state budget cuts, and several recent controversies. Please understand that I speak only for myself and not for the Board of Governors. However, I would suggest to you that a cornerstone of our continued success will be unity within the Carolina family, premised upon the principle that a major public research university such as Carolina can truly achieve what I would call an equilibrium of excellence in academics, athletics, the fine arts, research, and public service. For most of our history, our predecessors on this campus pursued this equilibrium assertively and with great success. Some now would say that the quest for all of these goals inexorably creates conflict, with excellence in one only being achieved to the detriment of another, so that ultimately they must be mutually exclusive. My personal answer to that question is that these goals are not mutually exclusive and that excellence in all of these arenas should be pursued and can be achieved to the mutual and collective benefit of this institution. However, that is much easier for me to say than for all of us to do, and that is my final point of today. With utmost respect, I want to challenge all of this university's faculty, alumni, and friends, whether gathered here today or instead if they are later inspired by your words and your example, please use your individual and collective genius to lead our Carolina family in active pursuit of this equilibrium of excellence. In other words, join us in seizing our times. Please do not rely only on our chancellor, our board of trustees, or the board of governors. There are only 49 of us, and we may be obligated to undertake those tasks without you, but instead we implore your teachings and your guidance, and we beseech your assertive leadership as we journey together. Thank you.
Thank you, Brent. And now it's an honor to present Wade Hargrove, Chair of the Board of Trustees, who will bring greetings on behalf of his fellow trustees. Wade.
Thank you, Chancellor Thorpe, and thank you and President Ross and Governor Barringer for your distinguished leadership of the university. Good morning. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I bring greetings. We are fortunate to have with us this morning three current members of the Board of Trustees, Sally Shuping Russell, Don Curtis, and Steve Lerner. And I also see out there my good friend and board member, former trustee, Don Stallings. We are fortunate to have with us also today former chairs of the Board of Trustees, Tim Burnett, Nelson Schwab, Roger Perry, and Bob Winston. I'd like to ask all current and past members of the Board of Trustees to stand and be recognized. It would be difficult to overstate how much their public stewardship has meant and continues to mean to this university. It's the university's birthday, and birthdays are a time for celebration of past achievements, and a time for hope, dreams, and aspirations for the future. The then novel notion back in 1789 that we all now take for granted of a public university had its birth, its beginning on this campus. The history of this university is indeed the history of all public higher education in America, and it's a history in which all of us take great pride. From this university, Carolina alumni have led the nation and our state in science, in education, in medicine, in government, in public health, in the law, in the armed forces and defense of freedom, in the arts, in athletics, and in the humanities. We honor 5 of our university's distinguished alumni today. The remarkable contributions of these alumni are continuing testament to the value to the nation and to North Carolina of this great public university. The times, as Bob Dylan said in his song, are a-changing. And while the times may be uncertain with the troubled economy and political gridlock at home and political and economic instability, violence, and conflict abroad, Carolina will continue going forward as it has in the past to educate the young and the old and provide opportunities for learning, for research, for robust, unencumbered debate, and for leadership training as it has for over 200 years for North Carolina and our nation. About that, all of us have no doubt. As I entered the university in 1958, we were told then that the purpose of the university is to, quote, unsettled young people's settled minds. How true that was for so many of us. And the lessons we learned here then continue every day to unsettle the settled notions that all of us have on so many topics. And that, I believe, is the essence of our collective and continuing educational experience, the experience that began right here. So as we figuratively blow out the candles and celebrate UNC's achievements and that of these 5 distinguished alumni, all of us look forward to many more birthdays and many more celebrations of this great university and the future generations of young and old Tar Heels that it will educate for North Carolina and the nation.
And now I'm pleased to introduce Don Curtis, Chair of the General Alumni Association, who will bring greetings. Don.
Good morning. On behalf of the General Alumni Association's thousands of members across the state, across the nation, and around the world, it's my great pleasure to join in offering congratulations to our recipients. For nearly 170 years, the General Alumni Association has been the connection between the university and its students after their days here in Chapel Hill. It's a big family. In fact, if we were to have a general membership meeting, we would need all of Kenan Stadium, including the Blue Zone, and the Smith Center, just to hold our dues-paying members. The GAA's purpose is to provide information and to continue the bond beyond our days here on this beautiful campus. Our alumni are charged with the responsibility to be effective advocates for Carolina in our communities, in our professions, and with our elected officials. It's our role to see that we do all we can, working with Chancellor Thorpe, to ensure that today's students, tomorrow's alumni, will have full access to take advantage of the opportunities of working with our world-class faculty whose research, teaching, and service continues to make Chapel Hill a one-of-a-kind place and a one-of-a-kind experience. To our recipients, thank you for all you have done, and know that we appreciate fully what your accomplishments have meant to this university and to the world beyond. You grace us with your gifts. You are truly priceless gems.
Thank you, Don. I'm pleased to introduce Jackie Overton, Chair of the Employee Forum, who will bring greetings.
Greetings, President Ross, Chancellor Thorpe, Chairman Hargrove, platform guests, campus community. While this university was celebrating its bicentennial in 1993, the Employee Forum was celebrating its first year of existence, our birthday. After years of research, planning, protest, and preparation, the Forum was formally recognized as a viable entity for staff employees on campus in 1992. Thank you, Chancellor Hardin. There were some fears in giving the Forum such status because it was felt that the staff would then want to run things. To be sure, we wanted to run things. Typewriters, errands, vacuums, bobcats, cash registers, parking booths, coffee pots, and the like. We wanted to run offices and labs and direct clinics, projects, and programs with a goal towards doing our part to making Carolina the best public university in the country. The fact that we are having this program today is a testament to the collective hard work of a lot of employees. The grounds are beautiful, the buildings are clean, the electricity is running, the sound is clear, the parking is maintained, and this auditorium is safe and secure. I was fortunate to have been part of the bicentennial planning team. We met and planned for many months to make this event happen. It would be a night event in Kenan Stadium with lots of flourish and fanfare because President Clinton would be the speaker. Prior to the president's speech, we would hear from our native son, Charles Kuralt, who so ably and aptly summed up the Carolina experience in this way. I paraphrase. What is it about this place that makes us love it so much? Is it the bell, or the well, or the rocked walls, or the crisp October mornings? No, it is none of these things. It is because this place is, as it was always meant to be, the university of the people. That speech electrified the crowd to thunderous applause because it resounded a truth within us that was both familiar and familial. The university of the people. People who teach, people who create, people who serve, people who care, especially the staff. Staff who have come from the mountains or poor rural counties. Many came here as students, oftentimes as first-generation college students, and stayed here because of better job opportunities. Staff, almost 9,000 strong. The Employee Forum, almost 50 elected delegates who represent everyone who is not a faculty or student member, to do our part to support the university's teaching, research, and public service mission, and to support our chancellor. We are the Employee Forum, and we are Tar Heels. Thank you.
Glad I invited her. Thank you, Jackie. And thanks for all you do for Carolina. I would also like to recognize our two students who are with us. Mary Cooper, the student body president, please stand. And Serena Vitska, president of the Graduate and Professional Students Federation. One of the great pleasures of University Day is the opportunity to acknowledge the achievements of former students. Our alumni are truly impressive, and their loyalty and affection are represented through the work of the General Alumni Association, which this year marks its 168th anniversary. Created in 1971 by resolution of the faculty, the Distinguished Alumna and Alumnus Awards recognize the outstanding contributions of our alumni. Recipients are approved by the Faculty Council and the Board of Trustees upon the recommendation of their respective committees. At this time, I would like to ask all of the former recipients of the Distinguished Alumna and Alumnus Award to stand and be recognized. And will the past presidents and chairs of the General Alumni Association who are with us today please stand. Thank you. To present the 2011 awards, I ask Executive Vice Chancellor and Provost Bruce Carney and Professor Joseph Ferrell, Secretary of the Faculty, to come forward. Will Alan Bergman please come forward?
The windmills of your mind, the way we were. Papa, can you hear me? Are you ready to break into song? If so, thank Alan and Marilyn Bergman. Alan Bergman studied music and dramatic art at Carolina and began writing music as a playmaker. After service in World War II, he received his Carolina BA degree in 1948. Alan and his wife Marilyn have collaborated as a songwriting team for the last half century. They have been nominated for 16 Academy Awards, multiple Grammys, Emmys, and Golden Globes, and have 3 Oscars for the songs cited earlier, which are probably still marching through your minds. The Bergmans have been inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame and have received far too many awards to mention here. They have been awarded honorary degrees by Berklee College of Music and the University of Massachusetts. Alan sits on the Board of Library of Congress National Film Preservation Board, and he and Marilyn serve on the Executive Committee of the Music Branch of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. For outstanding accomplishment in the field of songwriting, the University of North Carolina is pleased to bestow upon Alan Bergman this Distinguished Alumnus Award.
Will Denise Jean Jameson please come forward?
Denise Jameson is research team leader for unintended pregnancy, STD, and HIV intervention at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and clinical professor of gynecology and obstetrics at Emory University School of Medicine. She is a national leader in the promotion of women's reproductive health, as evidenced by a string of prestigious awards from the United States Public Health Service. Her outstanding abilities as a teacher have been recognized by awards from both Emory and the University of California at San Francisco. Jameson's work on the Mother-Infant Rapid Intervention at Delivery study led to national guidelines on implementing programs for rapid HIV testing during labor and delivery. Jameson also has made many important contributions to understanding women's health on issues as varied as ectopic pregnancy, preeclampsia, postpartum depression, emergent infectious diseases, contraception, and hysterectomy. One of her colleagues characterizes her as driven and determined, yet with a genuine capacity to listen to others, observe, notice cues, and react thoughtfully with sensitivity, tact, and intelligence. High praise indeed. For outstanding accomplishment in the field of medicine, the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill is pleased to bestow upon Denise Jean Jameson this Distinguished Alumni Award.
Will Frederick Otto Mueller please come forward?
For many years, if you drove down Laurel Hill Road toward Finley Golf Course around lunchtime, you would pass a determined jogger of a certain age, leaving a flock of panting students to eat his dust. That would have been Fred Mueller, Professor Emeritus of Exercise and Sports Science and holder of 3 Carolina degrees. Today, he walks the course, he says. During his 41 years on the faculty, Fred Mueller held numerous positions, most notably serving as department chair in exercise and sports science from 1995 to 2005. In that capacity, Mueller propelled his department to the top of the discipline by his far-sighted faculty hires and astute management. His research interest is in the area of the epidemiology of athletic injuries. Even in retirement, he continues to conduct his research in his capacity as director of the National Center for Catastrophic Sports Injury Research, which is headquartered in Chapel Hill. The center has been in existence since 1982 and is funded annually by the NCAA. Mueller also serves as the director of research for a national organization that certifies sports safety equipment. For outstanding accomplishment in the field of exercise and sports science, the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill is pleased to bestow upon Frederick Otto Mueller this Distinguished Alumnus Award.
Will Linda Ellen Oxendine please come forward?
Linda Oxendine has been a leader in higher education for most of her professional career, serving as professor and chair of the American Indian Studies Department of the University of North Carolina at Pembroke from 1989 to 2006. Her scholarly work has focused on the history, language, and culture of the Lumbee tribe of southeastern North Carolina. In her classroom and through her many publications, Lumbee students have learned about their heritage, and non-Indians have come to appreciate its richness. Oxendine holds degrees from Carolina, Pennsylvania State University, and the University of Minnesota. After a varied career in Washington, D.C. and Minnesota, she returned to North Carolina to begin a long association with UNC Pembroke, an institution co-founded by her great-grandfather. Her father had served as dean of the faculty at Pembroke, and her uncle founded the department she eventually came to chair. For outstanding accomplishment in the field of higher education, the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill is pleased to bestow upon Linda Ellen Oxendine this Distinguished Alumni Award.
Will Thomas Hart Sayre please come forward?
Thomas Sayre is co-founder of Clearscapes, a multidisciplinary design firm located in Raleigh. Working as a sculptor, Sayre has been involved in the design and construction of projects that include children's museums, historic renovations, art museums, performing arts centers, and both public and private art commissions. Sayre studied welding and metal fabrication and design with Thomas D. Soles, won a Moorhead Scholarship to Carolina, studied sculpture with Professor Robert Howard, graduated Phi Beta Kappa with high honors in English and fine arts. Sayre's commissions and public projects are found all over the United States and abroad. 3 are here in North Carolina, probably more. The Shimmer Wall at the Raleigh Convention Center, Gyre at the North Carolina Museum of Art, and Trajectory at the Charlotte Arena. His work has won numerous awards, and his firm was recently chosen to design a gateway sculpture for the town of Chapel Hill. For outstanding accomplishment in the field of sculpture, the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill is pleased to bestow upon Thomas Hart Sayre this Distinguished Alumnus Award.
Thank you all for being here. We're proud to call you Tar Heels. The Edward Kidder Graham Faculty Service Award was established to recognize outstanding service by a member of the voting faculty of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. The award calls to remembrance President Graham's ambition to make the campus coextensive with the boundaries of the state, in the context of the university's modern mission to extend knowledge-based service worldwide. Professor David Owens, Gladys Hall Coates Professor of Public Law and Government, is the inaugural recipient of this award. Will David W. Owens please come forward?
David Owens is the epitome of public service through engaged scholarship. As director of the North Carolina Division of Coastal Management in the mid-1980s, he overcame determined opposition to North Carolina's pioneering Coastal Area Management Act and set a standard for professionalism in that sensitive position that has endured. He joined our faculty in 1989 as one of the Institute of Governments, now School of Governments, specialist in planning, land use, and environmental law. President Graham aspired to make the university coterminous with the boundaries of the state. Hear what North Carolina public officials have to say about how David Owens heeded that call. When I have a question about land use planning issues, my first impulse is to call or email Dave because I know my question will get answered. Bill Dunstan, Central Carolina Council of Governments. David Owens has always set the standard for responsiveness to the need of North Carolina's local governments. Roger Stansel, manager of Chapel Hill. Throughout the negotiations leading to approval of plans for Carolina North, David managed tactfully to be visible when help was needed in devising ways to address issues, yet he was a resource that never pushed the negotiators either to the side or in a direction that they would later resent. John Evans, Executive Director, Carolina North. In working with the university and the town, David repeatedly performed near miracles in moving people gently, firmly, and inexorably toward results. Kevin Foy, former mayor of town of Chapel Hill. Once adversarial, the university and the town now share a working relationship built on cooperative engagement. This is due in no small part to David's professionalism, hard work, and responsiveness to the community and the town. Mark Kleinschmidt, Mayor of Chapel Hill. In recognition of outstanding service by a member of the faculty and further of President Graham's ambition to extend the university's knowledge-based services throughout the state, nation, and world, the Chancellor and Faculty Council are pleased to confer the 2011 Edward Kidder Graham Faculty Service Award on David Whit Owens.
We will now enjoy a long-standing university tradition as we listen to the UNC Chamber Singers conducted by Professor Susan Klebanow. The Chamber Singers will perform The Magic of Love with lyrics by Alan and Marilyn Bergman. The music was written by Lionel Richie and Walter Afanasieff and arranged by Tina Chin. I can't help recognizing Marilyn Bergman, who is here. So Marilyn, thank you. Thank you, and Alan, for all you have done for the American Songbook. Please welcome Professor Jan Boxell, Chair of the Faculty, who will introduce our speaker.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. Chancellor Thorpe, Chairman Hargrove, recipients of the Distinguished Alumna and Alumnus Awards, distinguished members of the faculty and guests, as Chair of the Faculty, I am honored to have this opportunity to introduce to you our University Day speaker. He's been a professor, a lawyer, a judge, a policy analyst and activist, and a college president. In a career dedicated to public service, Thomas W. Ross has touched nearly every area of civic life, including government, the law, community affairs, the arts, and education. After earning a bachelor's degree from Davidson College, graduating with honors from UNC School of Law, and a brief stay as an assistant professor in the School of Government, Tom Ross went into private legal practice. His stay there was also somewhat brief as well, as he answered the call to public service and headed to Washington, D.C. as a congressional chief of staff. He was soon back in his home state, however, as one of the youngest people ever named as the North Carolina Superior Court judge. During his 17 years on the bench, Judge Ross earned a national reputation as a jurist and was honored with the William H. Rehnquist Award for Judicial Excellence, given by the National Center for State Courts to the best state court judge in the nation. As executive director of the Z. Smith Reynolds Foundation, President Ross had the chance to tackle problems beyond the reach of the courts, working with nonprofit groups around the state on community economic development, democracy and civic engagement, the environment, and social justice. He was serving his dream job as president of Davidson College when he got the call to lead the University of North Carolina and its 17-member institutions. When the Board of Governors announced their choice for UNC president, Board Chair Hannah Gage said the following about their selection. In a time of great challenge and constant change, Tom Ross's thoughtful leadership, his proven integrity, his deep understanding of North Carolina, and his lifelong commitment to improving the lives of people in every corner of our state make him the perfect choice to lead the university in the years ahead. We are thrilled to have him as president and honored to have him address us today. Please welcome President Tom W. Ross.
Thank you very much, Jan, for that kind introduction. Congratulations again to all of you all for your awards. That's fantastic. I had planned to give a speech, but after Jackie, hey man, we're done. That was awesome. It was. I can't tell you how pleased I am to be here and how much I appreciate Chancellor Thorpe inviting me to celebrate this 218th anniversary with you. As a graduate of the law school here and having served on their Alumni Association board, as was mentioned, a former faculty member at what was then the Institute of Government, now the School of Government, and having served on their foundation board, and as a past member of the Board of Visitors at UNC-Chapel Hill, this is truly a homecoming for me. I'm particularly honored to be with you this morning as president of the University of North Carolina. As you may have heard me say before, I love this state, and I took on my new responsibilities just over 9 months ago because I care deeply about education and the difference that it makes in the lives of individuals and in our communities. It changed my own life, and I know it changes lives of others every day. And I love what this university, particularly this campus, stands for. As it has been for more than 2 centuries, it is proudly a public university. And it is, as it has always been, and as Jackie reminded us, the university of the people. As I said last week in my inauguration address, we must never lose our clear focus on the university's duty to contribute to the common good, to develop leaders for our communities, and to serve those communities in ways that enhance the quality of life
for the people who live in them. After all, it is that commitment to the common good, to the public good, that is central to being a great public university. Like industries and businesses across North Carolina, the university is suffering from the effects of the prolonged economic downturn. As you are likely very tired of hearing me talk about, in July we allocated more than $400 million in new permanent cuts to our base budget that was assigned by the 2011 General Assembly. With these latest reductions, the university system has received more than $1 billion in budget cuts and reversions over the last 5 years. I have talked at great length about the cumulative impact of those cuts elsewhere, and I could do so again here today. But I prefer to spend my time with you applauding you and the phenomenal teaching, research, and outreach that is taking place on this very campus on a daily basis, despite these cuts. As our faculty and staff have done throughout Carolina's proud 218-year history, you have rallied to keep things going and to help carry out our mission, even in these very tough economic times. And as a result, under the strong leadership of Chancellor Thorpe, UNC-Chapel Hill continues to set and to raise the bar for what it means to be a premier public university. This occasion is typically a day to celebrate the history and past achievements of this great university. But today I want to use it as a way to celebrate the dedicated, talented people who make this place so special right now. I'll share just a few examples of the many amazing accomplishments of the people who live, learn, and work here. Please know that there is much, much more to the story than I have time to share. So as we sit here together, I ask each of you to pause and reflect on how fortunate North Carolina is to have the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. So here's how I see things happening on this campus each and every day. Carolina continues to be a national leader in higher education because of its commitment to academic excellence and student success. The Carolina Covenant, for example, is part of a commitment to make college possible for qualified students regardless of their financial means. Many universities around this nation now follow Carolina's lead. At Carolina, research is a way of learning. While we most often associate graduate students with hands-on research, our undergraduate students also benefit. In fact, more than 60% of the students who graduated from the College of Arts and Sciences in 2009 had received credit for at least one research-intensive course. That same year, faculty in the college mentored nearly 1,500 undergraduate research projects. When I visited the university in January, shortly after I became president, I met with several students to hear about their Carolina experience. Students like Rhodes Scholars Paul Shorkey, Laurence Deshawn Lepore, now both alums pursuing graduate studies at Oxford University. We can be proud that over the past 25 years, Carolina has produced more Rhodes Scholars than any other public research university in America. I also met with students like Jerry Bowens, a junior business major from Charlotte who realized his dream of attending Carolina thanks to a Carolina Covenant scholarship. Students like Katie Wynell of Raleigh, a junior taking part in the Public Service Scholars Program. And students like Burlington native Roy Dawson, a participant in the C-STEP program, which helps talented, low-income students transfer from a community college to Carolina and graduate on time with little or no debt. Roy was then, last year, a 29-year-old senior who had gotten a late start in college because he had dropped out of high school at age 16 in order to get a job to help support his family. Today, Roy is enrolled in the law school right here in Chapel Hill. Carolina is also recognized for its commitment to faculty excellence, both in teaching and research. For example, Jacqueline Dowd Hall, the Julia Cherry Spruill Professor of History, was just inducted as a fellow in the American College of Arts and Sciences, one of the nation's most prestigious honor societies. Dr. Hall is a pioneer scholar in Southern women's history and a founding director of the Southern Oral History Program. I love recognizing Professor Hall, not because we've met or know each other, but because we can never focus enough attention upon and sufficiently celebrate the inspiring, outstanding teaching like that in which she's engaged every day. Dave Margolis from Medicine, Microbiology, and Immunology is leading a national team that was recently awarded a $32 million federal grant to help develop a cure for HIV. Another team of Carolina researchers, led by Ned Sharpless of the Lineberger Comprehensive Cancer Center, is working on a simple non-toxic pill that could help some cancer patients avoid the worst side effects of chemotherapy and radiation, as well as help victims of radiation disasters like the one that took place in Japan last year. A spin-off company based on this research recently won a $3 million federal grant to help bring its products to market. Hurricane forecasters are getting more accurate than ever, thanks to a team of Carolina researchers, including Rick Lutic, who directs our Institute of Marine Sciences in Morehead City. While tracking Hurricane Irene, UNC-Chapel Hill scientists put years of computer modeling development to the ultimate test by accurately forecasting the storm surge and flooding that would occur from North Carolina all the way up through New England. And just last month, Professor Kevin Guskowitz, a national expert on sports-related concussions, won a coveted MacArthur Fellowship, better known as the Genius Award. This $500,000 no-strings-attached grant goes to those who have shown extraordinary originality, creativity, and the potential to make important future contributions. Dr. Guskowitz who plans to apply part of the award to the study of brain injuries of our soldiers who have sustained bomb blasts, and is a wonderful example of how innovative faculty research, both in the lab and in the field, advances knowledge that saves lives. We know, and having run a campus, I can assure you, that faculty and students could not be so successful were it not for the dedicated staff members who help keep the campus running, all those machines that Jackie talked about. I'm talking about employees like Tom Sudreth of Carolina's Landscape Supervisors, who was honored last year with the Massey Award. Tom has contributed to the beauty of this campus for the past 26 years, and more recently has implemented landscaping for a campus master plan. I'm also talking about employees like Ruben Gonzalez Cresp, another recent Massey Award winner, who brings comfort, care, and compassion to patients and their families through his work as a Spanish interpreter at the UNC Lineberger Center and at the North Carolina Cancer Hospital. As one would expect from the University of the People, the impact of Carolina's teaching and research is today being felt through service to people in their communities all over North Carolina and around the world. Through the AHEC program, the UNC healthcare system provides outreach and clinical support in all 100 counties of this state. Last year, our hospitals and affiliated practices served over 694,000 patients and provided more than $300 million in uncompensated care. The Build a Block project led to Carolina's selection as a campus chapter of the year by Habitat for Humanity International. This project, started last September by then senior Megan Jones, was a way for the Carolina community to help provide affordable housing for employees of UNC-Chapel Hill. To date, more than 1,400 Carolina students, faculty, and staff have spent more than 7,000 hours constructing 10 habitat houses in the Phoenix Place in Chapel Hill. This year, Carolina moved up to 4th on the Teach for America list of top schools contributing the greatest number of graduating seniors to this phenomenally successful program. UNC-Chapel Hill ranked 3rd among large U.S. colleges and universities for the number of alumni volunteering for the Peace Corps in 2011. This year, 94 undergraduate alumni and another 6 graduate alumni are representing the United States abroad. Today, Carolina is partnering with North Carolina State, North Carolina Central University, and Duke, as well as the Center for Entrepreneurial Development, to create a network of entrepreneurial assistants similar to those found in Silicon Valley and the Boston Corridor. The Blackstone Entrepreneurial Network will help identify and mentor 150 startup teams over the next 5 years. Working together, our universities can drive our economy forward. We have people with great ideas, and this new network can connect those smart people with the expertise needed to help their ideas off the ground and into the marketplace. It is no secret that public universities across the nation are having to place greater reliance on private donors to fill in the growing gaps in state funding, gaps that have been exacerbated by the ongoing economic recession. Because of the remarkable teaching, research, and engagement that happens every day on this campus, more than 77,000 Carolina alumni, parents, and friends gave $277 million in private gifts in the fiscal year that ended June 30th. That's the second highest annual total in the campus's history. Those numbers would be great any place, any year. But in the current economy, that level of support, that tangible vote of confidence, is indeed extraordinary. In my remarks in Greensboro last week, I acknowledged that we are at a defining moment in our history, a time marked by challenges and uncertainty. But I also indicated that it is, nonetheless, our time. And what we do with it is up to us. It is our time to redefine ourselves as a university and to decide how to retain the essence of what we do best, teaching, research, and public engagement, but to do so in new and different ways that are relevant in the lives of our people and that add value to the state, to the nation, and to the world. Today and in the years ahead, we must recommit ourselves to being the university of the people. In doing so, we must continue to accept nothing less than the same excellence that exists today at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. But on this day, this anniversary day, it is important that we pause to celebrate all that this university means and all that it does. We are truly blessed to have this place and the people here in our lives. Reminding ourselves of the real value of what we have is critical to maintaining our commitment to preserve it. Thank you for giving me the privilege of being a part of this special day. And I thank all of you for the enormous good you do. And you do so well on behalf of our students, each other, our university, and our state. I applaud you. Today is a day to be proud. Today is a great day to be a Tar Heel. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. We are so fortunate that you chose to come to Chapel Hill and to lead the UNC system. It is a privilege to work with you, and I think everybody can see what a great understanding you have of a campus and all the things that we do and all the things that are required to do the things that we do. So thank you very much for everything. It has been my custom to share an annual address with the university community, and I'll be doing that again this year with a brief video message that will be coming in a campus email soon, later this week. Thank you for joining us today to celebrate the founding of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. I wish to thank the members of the ceremonial band and to Jeff Fuchs, our band director, for their performance. As they play, please stand and join in singing our alma mater, Hark the Sound. At the conclusion of the alma mater, please remain standing as our faculty and staff recess.